I'm Jack Freiburg. Live here in Quincy, have lived here the majority of my life, other than the time that I was in college, and 5 years when I was working in the low-budget movie industry in Los Angeles. Proud Quincyan. My grandfather bought into a firm called Miller, Castle and Bangert then, and he bought the Bangert shares and became Miller, Castle and Freiburg, and that was in 1921. Prior to that, the roots of that firm go back to the German insurance company, which was founded here in the 1850s. There was a huge German population there at that time, and a lot of those Germans, when they first got here, did not speak English, so they needed to have insurance policies that were written in German that they could understand and raise the capital here. We were basically a property casualty agency, which means it was things like homeowners and car insurance, etc. Lots of commercial insurance too, and bonds. I was working with my dad and my uncle when I originally started here, and you had them as mentors. They were very good insurance agents and bond agents. And but the root of any kind of business is your customers and the people that you're dealing with. And that's the part that you miss when you retire, is dealing with the people on a day-to-day basis, some of whom have depended on you for advice for 30 plus years. And they learn to trust you and seek your advice. As you get your education, you spend your time, you realize there's things that you would rather do because you have extra expertise in that area, and you want to specialize in that because it's A, profitable, and B, if a lot of times the folks that are in your industry don't have experience with that individual niche. And in my case, I like doing bond work, and that involves contractors and public officials and a lot of people, because there aren't very many people that are really that familiar with all of that. So you try to develop your niche that's profitable for you. Well, gathering customers. I mean, that's, I don't care what industry you're in, you want to have a good customer base, because you can have, in the insurance industry, you can have something that you're really good at, and for one reason or another, that insurance company doesn't want to write that line anymore, dramatically increases those rates. Well, when that happens, you better find somebody to replace that book, another market, and that can really be a challenge at times, because sometimes there's not anybody that fits that market that you had before. So you can lose a bunch of business when that type of thing happens, and it's not something that you have a whole lot of control over. Primarily finance and feeling like you're doing something for the city. When you had, because you're working with different factors, you're working with the fire service in town because you want the fire service to have the best ISO rating than they can get, and that's a public protection rating. In other words, Insurance Services Office, one of their duties is to go around and rate all the fire departments in the state. And they're all rated from 1 to 10, and it's based on 3 factors. It's based on communications. 2, it's based on water supply. Okay, and 3, it's based on training and equipment. And Insurance Service Office rates every fire department based on those 3 factors. And you want to be a protection class 1 if you can be. Quincy has been a 2 or a 3 most of my life, but it was also a 5 originally. So the fire department has that's all improved. But it's not just the fire department that does that. It's water supply and communications and the 911 center. All of that has to be done. So you want that public protection out there. That's what your tax dollars are going for, are getting paid for. And when they're getting paid for that, in turn, you should get a break on your insurance, because the public protection is lower, meaning they are a better rated fire department, you should get a break on your premiums too. I don't think there's any individual thing that really stands out. When you've got a 38-year career, you have a lot of victories, a lot of victories every day. But I can't think of anything right offhand that really stands out as something, because, you win these incentive trips where you travel, and, I went on quite a few of those, but, I don't know of a crowning achievement necessarily per se, other than the fact that I think I did a pretty good job for the entire 38 years. And I had a lot of customers that were with me, a very long time. So I'm proud of that. But it's really the longevity of things, I think. I don't think there's any one crowning achievement. And insurance agents, being an insurance agent is not for everybody. Because, it's not like you're building buildings that you've got a legacy with the buildings. You're more of an expediter for the financial system. Communication is one of the most important ones. And follow up, because in the insurance industry, there's an awful lot of detail work, and there's a lot of people that can have great persistency, but if you don't do the follow up on all the detail work in the insurance industry, you're in trouble, because there's a lot of it, and there's a lot of things that you say, I need to get back to you on that, I need to check with somebody, and having that kind of follow-up, doing that kind of detail is not for everybody. You need to be persistent and follow through and get all this done. I mean, you get a lot of academic training, but no matter how much academic training you have, you're going to run into situations that you're not going to learn in any kind of book. And that's why when you're dealing with someone, you usually want to, particularly as you get older, you want to deal with somebody that has 20 years of experience or so you're knowing somebody that's run into, you may have only come across it once in your life, but, when your agent may have run across it 50 times, and he's going to guide you the best way to deal with all this. That's one of the other things that really, is an insurance agent, that a lot of people really don't realize when they first get into this, is a lot of this is communication and education of your customers. Stay close to your customers. All of the big institutions now, more than ever, I mean, when you're talking about the Citi groups and the Bank of Americas and all those, they're all totally about efficiency. And there's a place for that, and they do a very good job at that. But, when you've got a real problem, at least in a small community like ours, it's not solved through technology. It's solved by you going and sitting with somebody and talking your way through this. And a lot of the big institutions can't offer that. So that's why, when I do dealing with a bank, it's okay if you have a Citicorp or Bank of America as backup, but you need to support that local community bank too, because there's somebody you can sit down and talk to in the process. And that's the same thing applies with the insurance agent. You can go to Geico or what have you, but and particularly if you're young, buy your stuff online the cheapest way that you can. As things get more complex in your life, you need to buy insurance and making sure it's purchased appropriately. And when you do that, you want to be able to talk to somebody where they can help guide you and put this all together. Get a good general education, learn how to communicate, and take a lot of broadening education classes. Take that music appreciation class, take that art appreciation class. You're going to, when you do that, you're going to come out a well-rounded person, and you're going to be somebody that's going to fit in society a lot better. The quality of your life is going to go up. Get yourself well-rounded. Learn how to communicate. Be able to read a person. Because in the long run, all we're searching for is the truth. Your customers, you want them to be honest with you, and you absolutely need to be honest with them. I'm a great believer in backup plans, because we hear a lot about this Plan B stuff with people in their careers or in their life, and I'm telling you that having a Plan B is a good way to go about things. You can have things happen in your life that you have absolutely no control over, and a great deal of your life is you have choices, etc. But a lot of things in your life are you reacting to things that you have no control over. And it's about attitude at that point. And I'll guarantee you, the one thing you can control in this life is your own attitude. And I'm telling you, you need to make the best choices that you can. Process all the information you can. Sometimes when you think you've got it all figured back, don't make that decision. Step back and try and see an even bigger picture. Listen to those people around you that care about you, and because they're going to give you their best advice. And I'm telling you, revisit and make a decision based on that after you've gotten advice from a lot of different people. Because most of the time, people that care about you are going to tell you the truth as they see it. And sometimes they see it better than you, sometimes they don't. But it never hurts to listen.